Thank you very much for having me just quickly present on, I think, an important program or just an important project that we've provided for the different hospitals and communities nationwide and also across the country. So pretty much I'll dive right into it. One of the programs, one of the pieces of it is a mock code stroke program. The basis of it, or the general idea of it, is to just take a drill designed to test all the aspects of the stroke patient treatment pathway without having a real patient in it. So patient to EMS to ED, to the neuro team, and then to the interventionist as well. The program's kind of interesting. You can customize it as you'd like to go. So either go through or have the consultants. It's a group of consultants, 2 or 3 consultants usually, one being an actor that goes through the system. And what they do is customize it to either go through an EMS situation, a walk-in through the ED, or an inpatient stroke mimic. From there, just looking at key individuals that usually is part of the process. So before you look at implementing a mock stroke, just some of the folks that you'd like to add into or get into the team before moving forward from there. So just the keys to success on looking at implementing a mock code stroke. What I've seen in the past as a stroke could be, we can do mock strokes from once a quarter, twice a year, once a year, annually. But the keys to success is usually having the protocol there beforehand to see what your intentions are. Know the challenges beforehand that you've identified in your process or in your program. Getting the team involved, as I said beforehand, the folks, so directors, managers, interventionists, just getting them involved in the mock stroke. The day of the stroke, getting a pre-meeting outline prepared, what you're looking to do, what we're trying to accomplish, and then usually the stroke, the mock stroke process is pretty quickly, 0 to 60 minutes, a little bit of a template to look at what the inefficiencies were, and then just some booklets to help integrate some of those issues that you had discussed or discovered through the teams and spread it through the teams to get a better effectiveness. What they'll do is they'll do a follow-up. We can do that either with dinners or roundtables, and then just getting the whole team on board. So this is usually what a mock stroke program looks like, what the agenda looks like. This is a morning one. It's usually a half day, so 9 to 9:30. You just review it with the stroke coordinator, get them involved. 10:30, get the stroke ready, and that usually involves the consultants getting themselves prepared. If it's a walk-in, usually he's walking in, the actor's walking into the ED. But just setting that all up. 11 to 12, getting the actual code through, and then 12 to 12:30, 12:45. Usually you have a review meeting. Just on what was discovered and what can be discussed to improve. These are the scenarios that you can go through, and all of these are also changeable or variables. This one that I've got up here is a scenario, is just an ED walk-in. The symptoms, history, general assessment, and then conclusions of what the actor is trying to mimic. And as I said, I mean, he's actually very good at going anywhere from a 12 NIH score all the way to a 21, 22. It's pretty impressive. And I think we've got a couple of success stories in the audience. So what the mock code summary looks like, what they'll do is they'll go through a couple of different pieces. So general assessment, stabilization, alerting the stroke team, neurological assessment by the stroke team, and they'll break that down into how many minutes it took, what they observed, and then they will usually take different notes through the process of what was broken, what was fixed, what worked very well, what they notified even last time if we're actually doing this on a quarterly or semi-annual basis, and then just presenting it back to the team at the end. So that's usually where the process or how the process looks like. The team in action there, with the actor on the top left, stroke team being activated, getting ready. And then the bottom right, you'll have a discussion or a didactic discussion on the observations or the overview afterwards. Here's what the summary examples look like. So just a congratulations door to needle time was between 51 minutes. Team had a great understanding of the process. Here's some opportunities to work on, what to look out for, calling a code stroke, etc. Description of where the activities could be designed, so where the two scenarios were, what the challenges were that were uncovered, and then follow up as to where the effects or the benefits could be. And a lot of times these mock strokes, from a team perspective, will lead further into either a grand rounds discussion, further discussion or presentation with EMS, or just a stroke care event such as a dinner to get more parties involved and talk about some of the positives and negatives of what was found with that mock stroke. Some options on customer feedback, just with the strokes that we've done in the past. And as I said, there are a couple of folks in the audience that have had some of the mock strokes done at their facilities. And then last but not least, just a couple of pictures of the actor again, going through the CT, kind of stopped right before CT, and then moving through the process. So I'm here, I'm around. If you guys have any more questions about mock stroke and the programs that we do offer, feel free to ask any questions.
Thanks, Sean. I can tell you we ran a couple of these mock strokes over the past year, and found it very beneficial. And one of the ways I realized that it was effective is the ER director called me afterwards and said that they thought it was actual real stroke, the way the actor simulated it, that folks were anxious, frustrated, because when they found out it was a mock stroke, they realized, you just distracted me from my morning workflow because I took it so seriously. But that's what it's meant for. And, we're trying to run these during daytime as well as nighttime. So, the night shifts, I think, are much more beneficial compared to the days because, it's a whole different can of worms, I'll put it that way, running some of these scenarios at nighttime. Because the teams is more of a skeleton crew sometimes. Perhaps it's different staffing, folks who have less experience. So practice makes perfect. But that's about it for the mock stroke information. Who do you have next?